Miles away. Is it to be an "I was there" night, or an occasion to say "I'm afraid I was there"? An evening to wave the scarf, or to use it as a blindfold. Well, let's not sound like prophets of doom. There are 3 examples this season of Middlesbrough scoring the requisite number of goals in the second half of a game, and here's Hasselbank looking for a very early one. Now Stuart Parnaby had a ropey first half, and it's cleared by Marine, but they managed 3 in the second half against Basel so memorably, against Fulham to win 3-2 in the Premiership, and against Nuneaton Borough in an FA Cup replay. And they have scored 4 goals in a game 3 times in the last 10 fixtures. But they won't be pleased to see that man down.
No, and I hope it's not serious. Radoy actually tries to jump over George Boateng as he comes watch, and his boot catches him right on the head. I mean, that's as sore as it gets. I can't understand what he was doing about continuing like that. I mean, I think that should be yellow.
Well, I'm just thinking back to a Champions League game between Toon and Arsenal at Highbury early in the season when Robin van Persie was sent off for a boot that wasn't as high as that against Alan Orman.
That's very reckless, to say the least, from the Steaua captain.
Well, there could not be a more experienced official than Lubos Michel. And there's the culprit.
I mean, I think he saw it coming as well, and he tried to duck, didn't he, George Boateng, and still got caught.
Radoy is supposed to be Steaua Bucharest's best player. He's won 35 caps for Romania. But his own goal at Rosenborg back in August cost Steaua a place in the Champions League. George Boateng is described by the coaching staff here as 2 players in one. Now, no wonder that Chris Mosley, the physio, is taking infinite care in trying to repair him. Steve McLaren, as is his wont, was late out for the second half and is having to be filled in as to what's just happened to his midfield enforcer. One way or another, and we might be singing a different tune in 45 minutes' time, but it's not looking like a happy evening for Middlesbrough. As one of the potential replacements, Ugo Ehiogu, another who nearly left the club in the January transfer window. Kubu, I'm sure we'll see at some stage. I mean, McLaren ended up with 4 strikers on against Basel in the quarter-final.
Almost certainly, but Steve McLaren won't give up on Boateng just yet, simply because, I mean, he wants his 5 most attacking players to see plenty of the ball setting up. He's the one that's going to have to mop up on occasion, and he's made of steely stuff there, isn't he? I fancy he'll come back on.
So after a spot of what looked like kickboxing, we have Championship boxing on ITV4 this weekend. Saturday night from 9, Alex Arthur defending his European super featherweight title. And then a different slot for Championship football Monday morning, 9:25 ITV1. We're at Swansea to see if Southend can reach the Championship. And our website has all the latest UEFA Cup news and plenty on the World Cup too. You'll find it at itv.com/football. Boateng seems to be ready to come back on from the far side. Here's Rockenbach. Middlesbrough needing 3 more goals. Viduka. Boateng is back with us. This is Parnaby. Middlesbrough have 3 in the box. Seemed to come last off Macaroni. PA announcer has a warped sense of humour. Most of the half-time interval playing football's coming home, and the line about 3 lines on the shirt, I don't know that Steve McLaren would have been singing along to. The intention was to rouse the crowd. They're up for it all right. Just need another goal to increase that belief. Rockenbach. Macaroni. Lovin for Steaua. Downing. Middlesbrough beaten 8 times at home this season. Only twice in 11 cup ties. Boateng. Hasselbank. And out by Radoy.
No, but importantly, I mean, the pace of play is better. Second half for Middlesbrough, I mean, is the way they finished the first, and that had to be rekindled again, and it's there, and the commitment is there again. It's just, again, getting the two boys up front fed.
They're giving themselves a mighty handicap, though, in this two-legged semi-final. Boateng. Sweeping ball, looking for Macaroni. Back goes the diligent Marine. And now the crescendo begins around the stadium, whenever Middlesbrough are in possession and moving in the right direction. Plenty of flags in evidence and blaring horns, trying to kindle a European atmosphere. Tickets sold out a couple of days ago, which is a real rarity at the Riverside, and 500 more were made available at the last minute, and they went in 20 minutes this morning. Teesside finally embracing the UEFA Cup, and Middlesbrough's significant achievements in it this season. Andrew Taylor. Downing. It is a free kick. No more, says Slovakia's most famous school teacher. Chris Riggett is going forward for this. It's taken by Rockenbach. Falls for Dika. Boateng. Rockenbach. Downing. Goalkeeper comes, and this time claims.
I mean, priceless. Steaua are going to be under a fair bit of pressure, you'd imagine, this second half, and anytime he can do anything like that, looks a bit eccentric, but I mean, that's great for defence when your keeper comes and is that authoritative.
Viduka. Carnaby. Taylor. Viduka. Very, very good, but not quite good enough.
Well, it's brilliant. He's done that 3 or 4 times tonight. Control it and then swivel. And I thought he's done well to produce anything from there, because you wouldn't expect him to do as well as that. It's great control. Might have taken a little nick off the defender. Just probably lacked that extra little bit of power, John. If there's a bit more behind that, it could have beaten Carlos. Another smart save.
Well, for a few of these more experienced players, it may be their best opportunity to reach one more European showcase. Viduka denied at the semi-final stage of the Champions League with Leeds. Hasselbank at the same stage with Chelsea. Here's Rockenbach. Hasselbank. Boateng. It's crisp. It's Boateng's shot. It's behind and wide for goal kick.
Well, that area was very profitable from them getting back in the Basel game, just in front of the box to get the shots in. Not his best, Boateng, but I mean, I think it was inevitable. At some stage we were going to see Yakubu, and it's earlier than Steve McLaren would have liked, but he needs it.
This is Bostina. Guiding it back to Jones. All the time, Middlesbrough knowing that there is no further room for error. It's a daunting task. It would become impossible if Steaua were to breach them one more time. Viduka. It's a nice turn. He's so good at that. Boateng. The Pizza to mop up. Taylor playing it, and Taylor, I think, is the player who's likely to be replaced by Yakubu. And here, considerably earlier than scheduled, comes Middlesbrough's leading hero, turn this one round, and he'd quickly become a legend. Rockenbach. Middlesbrough full of vim and vigour, but this is Dika. And a space for Lobin, who's wasted it.
That's a waste. I mean, Jakob came to show for him. It was a simple little ball across the ground on. And you feel because of Middlesbrough now with what they've got in formation, it's just so advanced and so attacking. And if Steaua are a little careful on the ball and breaking forward, then there's a good chance of another in for him.
Basically, Middlesbrough playing with 4 defenders, 2 midfielders trying to push forward as often as possible, and virtually 4 across the front.
To be honest, John, they're pretty much 2 at the back. They're leaving Kadru and Riggett, the 2 centre-backs there, and it's more or less 2 on 2. Very, very risky, but it's a case of having to.
2-4-4. Middlesbrough don't want the pace to drop. They don't like stoppages. Don't like it to be broken up.
Little contact, if any, from Riggett, but I think the Romanians will try and use that to their advantage every time to slow it down, just delay things.
Guianair. Kapritsa. From Kedru. It's a decent ball for Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. 2 in the box, 1 just outside for Middlesbrough. And now the break is on, and it's 3 against 1 defender if they play this right. It's Jakob, and Middlesbrough's grip is tenuous, but Riggett gets back.
You've every chance of seeing more of that situation arising as well, because, you know, it is pretty much 2 on 2, and he does particularly well here, Riggett, to keep up and get a good tackle in.
Lovin, and that's some block tackle by Rockenbach. Don't see many of those from him. Yakubu. George Boateng spent much of his youth in Eindhoven and is desperate for a return there on May the 10th. His 31st birthday falls on the eve of the final. Downing. Viduka. Nicely for Parnaby. And Mark Viduka! That's his speciality.
I think he could have hit it first time, though, instead of taking the touch. Came at him quickly, but it was there to hit.
Steaua have already proved themselves to be as effective a counter-attacking side as we've seen in European football in recent times. Their results tell you that away from home. Ready to pounce whenever Middlesbrough lose it.
Rado is sitting very deep in midfield, and they've pretty much gone to a 5 at the back now. Prita is picking up Yakubu on the Romanians' right, Middlesbrough's left, and he's more or less making himself a 5th defender now.
Middlesbrough should, from here on in, dominate possession, but it's how often and whether they can find a way through. Yakubu. Just over Hasselbank, and there's Marin for Steaua. Application and concentration like this from Middlesbrough in the opening 20 minutes and they wouldn't be in this mess. Hasselbank. Boateng to Viduka.